Hi, this is Chris from needlepointers.com, and today I'd like to show you how I'm going to patch this hole in my bed sheet. This bed sheet has worn in a very odd way. It seems from the beginning of using this sheet and washing it that this seam has been folding under, and then this has folded back, maybe, because there seems to be a fold on this side folding back, and it has worn holes, little holes all the way down the sheet on both sides even. So I think you can see the holes on there, and then in this one section you can see there's this big hole on the edge. So instead of mending this by putting a patch and then sewing over it for this seam, because I can tell that this is wearing all the way down the entire length on both sides of this sheet. So I think to fix this, the best way to do this would be to just cut off the sheet at where these little dots or holes are forming, and then fold it over twice and sew it back down and make a new side hem on both sides of the sheet. We will lose a little bit of the width of the sheet, but I think to save this sheet, to be able to use it for a longer period of time, I think this is the best way for us to get some more use out of this. So let's go over to my cutting mat and we'll cut off the sides, and then we will start this new hem. I'm sorry, but I had a technical difficulty while recording this video with my camera and microphone, and it did not record any of the audio for a couple of the tracks. So I am going to have to voice over what I said in those sections of the video. So in those sections you will not hear any background noise, just me speaking in the voiceover. I hope you understand and keep watching this video anyway. I'm at my cutting mat along with my ruler and my rotary cutter, and I have folded my sheet in half and then in half again, so there's 4 layers and they're all together. And I want to try to line up the side seam as best as I can here before I cut it off so that I get a straight seam on the side. Line up the ruler where we're going to cut off the seam, then use my rotary cutter to cut off the edge of the sheet across the whole width. I will continue and cut the other side of the sheet off in the same manner. Next, we'll create a new side seam on the sheet by folding up the edge of the sheet 1/2 an inch. On my ruler, I have a mark for where the 1/2 inch is, and then you fold up the sheet about 1/2 of an inch. If it's off a little bit, it won't matter that much because this is just a side seam on the sheet, and then iron down the seam or the folded up edge. Continue to measure and fold up the edge along the whole side seam of the sheet until you get to the bottom. Next, we will fold up the side seam again by another 1/2 inch, and by folding up, and the edges, the raw edges, will end up tucked inside the seam. So fold up the edge of the seam by 1/2 inch and check your measurement and start to iron down the seam the whole way. Be sure you're tucking in the first fold and the raw edges to the inside and that they are flat. If you'd like to use Mary Ellen's Best Press, this can help make a crisp seam. Spray some on and then iron your seam flat. Place pins along the seam to hold it in place until after you've sewn the new side seam. I will continue to iron and pin this complete side seam until I get to the bottom of the sheet. I will then do the same on the other side. Okay, I'm over at the sewing machine and I have it set on a straight stitch with the normal length. I've threaded the machine on the top and the bottom with matching color thread. If you don't have matching thread, use something very close to this color of the sheets. And I'm using my regular #1 presser foot. I want to sew pretty close to the inside folded edge of the hem. So I'm going to kind of use this edge of the presser foot as my guide. It could be a little bit wider. You don't want to be too wide because then when it flips around, it might catch on something. Don't forget to back tack. And pull your pins out as you go along. I'm coming to the end of sewing the second side here. And don't forget to back tack at the end of each side. There's the finished side seam, and you can see the back. It's nicely finished now and will give me probably a few more years at least of good use. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I fixed the side seams and fixed a hole in my sheet. Like and share our videos, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to our channel so you won't miss future videos. Help us spread our videos by sharing them with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. Visit our website, needlepointers.com, for lots of other sewing tutorials and free projects. While you're there, sign up for our free weekly newsletter so you won't miss new tutorials. Happy sewing!